When John traveled, he often faced real danger, either on land, but certainly at sea. In 1797, on an ocean voyage to Portland, Maine, Judith wrote about this experience to her sister-in-law, Anna Parsons Sargent. Mr. Murray is not yet returned. He left Boston upon the 4th instant, the Wednesday afternoon preceding the violent storm, which you may perhaps recollect. He took passage for Portland in an eastward-bound vessel, and as I had been kept awake the preceding night by a variety of careful attentions until the dawn of day, I retired to rest early in the evening with our child, and slept until between 10 and 11 o'clock, when I was roused by a sound resembling the solemn knell by which we mark the departure of our friends, and instantly the bellowing winds with frightful violence shrieked around our dwelling. Sleep was banished from my eyes, and quitting my pillow in an agony beyond description, my bosom became the seat of the most heart-affecting apprehension. I passed the night in alternately traversing up and down the apartment and clasping to my bosom my sleeping infant, whom I addressed as a bereaved and helpless orphan. The morning, however, presented a number of kind friends who endeavored to soothe me by the strongest assurances that I had nothing to fear, but both the male and female relations of those who had friends on board the same vessel crowded upon me with looks of terror, inquiring if I had heard any tidings. And this circumstance was more than a balance to the well-meant effort of those who took an interest in seeking to calm the tumult in my soul. But no words can delineate the anguish of my spirit when the Sentinel on Saturday morning gave information that many vessels eastward bound were on Wednesday night cast away in Winter Harbor, and a number of lives lost. At noon, however, my cousin Henry, dispatched by his father as an angel of peace, hastened to me with the tidings that the vessel in which Mr. Murray had embarked was seen on Friday, making her passage to Portland. Yet still, I rejoiced with fear and trembling until Tuesday's post brought me a letter written by his own hand and containing the assurance of his safety. When John wasn't traveling, he still faced opposition in Boston from those who objected to his ministry. His safety was always a concern. During one such instance, Judith wrote to her cousin, Epps Sargent, Mr. M. went out the ensuing morning at 8 o'clock. He had intended to have returned immediately, but those attentions which he was necessitated to pay to many sick friends and others of his congregation unexpectedly detained him. Not impressed by those frightful apprehensions which tortured my bosom, he neglected to apprise me of his movements, and I neither saw nor heard of him again until near 12 o'clock at night. The day wore gloomily away. When the solitary candle was lit for the evening, my spirit seemed to die within me. Scarcely could I draw up a breath. When the clamorous bells proclaimed the hour of 9, but what were my sensations when the clocks from the neighboring steeples announced 10 and 11 and no husband? I could command no language which is sufficiently comprehensive to describe the anguish of my spirit. We sallied forth in quest of our wanderer, but in this town of Boston, without a male protector, was a perilous enterprise, and where to direct our steps we knew not. Fortunately, however, we had not proceeded far when we met the object of our care, returning home as tranquil as integrity and as unconsciousness of having given occasion of sorrow could render him. His cheerful greetings banished our apprehensions for the night, but for many succeeding days they returned with more or less force, as the situation of my mind assumed a perturbed or placid aspect. Judith's other real concern was for John's health. John exhausted himself as a preacher and organizer. He would travel for months at a time and return home sick and worn out. After one journey to Philadelphia, Judith wrote, Mr. Murray is indeed very ill. He is confined through the week altogether to his chamber and almost wholly to his bed. Upon the last and upon 2 Sabbath days, he was prevailed upon to suspend his pulpit labors. But last Sunday, ill as he was conveyed in a close carriage to church, from whence he returned immediately to his chamber and to his bed. His sufferings are beyond description. The tumor is neither distressed nor does it approach to suppuration. It is hard, distinct, and prominent. Possibly it is of the scurrilous kind. Even his physician admits this idea. My spirit seems to die within me at the view of a calamity so pregnant with evil, so fatal in consequences. Yet have I not enjoyed much, and by what right can I plead an exemption from the ills which are incident to humanity? Judith was resigned to his calling, or, as she wrote, heaven seems to have designed him an itinerant promulgator of the doctrines of revelation, and it becomes me to acquiesce. Life went on. They worked, raised their daughter, boarded and entertained nieces, nephews, and the children of family friends whose education Judith oversaw, and they really struggled financially. One day, in 1809, John's tireless efforts on behalf of Universalism caught up with him. He suffered a paralyzing stroke. While his mind was still alert, he could not move the left side of his body. He was bedridden. It took 3 men to lift him from his bed to a chair or outdoors to a carriage. Judith was devastated, but of course she did everything she could to make him comfortable. When she canceled her annual summer visit to her family in Gloucester one year, John insisted she go, writing to her about how much he regretted making her life so difficult. She wrote back to him, "My dear, my beloved, my venerable sufferer, who says that you have not been made an instrument of great good? Who says that you ought to be second to any in my gratitude, in my affection? Was it not by your mouth that our God and Father thought best to show me the way of life more perfectly? And is there not many a denunciation, which being found in Holy Writ would have harrowed up my affrighted soul, had not thy irradiated mind, by dispersing the clouds, produced the luminous comment replete with peace, life, and happiness? Are you not the father of my child? Is there, can there be a more excellent thing? Do I not in her enjoy that desideration for which my soul long languished, and which I have hailed as heaven's best gift? Away then, with every recurrence to accidental evils, to the thorn in the flesh, to human frailties, from which no mortal is exempt. What are the fading evils of time, to the substantial felicity in possession and reversion of which you have been made to me the beloved medium? Talk not of forgiveness, of offenses, or of pardon, but let us mutually bear and forbear, and let us, hand in hand, pursue the rugged path which yet remains, until we arrive at that beatified state where sin nor sorrow will no more invade, and where we shall be completely blessed. May God forever bless you. I am truly your faithful and affectionate wife." During this time, with difficulty and determination, Judith helped John edit and publish his 2-volume book titled Letters and Sketches of Sermons, which was important for the father of American Universalism to complete.